Sims. Let's go.
Hello everyone, it's your girl Miracle Sims and you are watching the GSL Talk Show. Tonight we're going to be chatting with Mr. Eric Mchugh and he's going to be sharing with us about all of his endeavors. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the GSL Talk Show. I am here with Mr. Eric Mchugh. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing amazing. Thank you so much for having me. And I must say off the bat, you just have a really friendly, just warm energy. So I'm excited to be here.
Oh, well, I'm excited to have you. Yes, welcome to the GSL Talk Show. And thank you for that compliment.
Of course. It's more of a factual statement, but it is what it is.
Oh, well, I appreciate it either way. And yeah, let's learn more about you, Mr. Mchugh. Here I go, Mchugh.
Yeah.
Cool. So tell us where you are or where you're from and just a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Nice to meet everyone. My name is Eric. I'm 30 years old and I'm blessed to be living in beautiful Southern California. I'd say my main hobbies are chess, Muay Thai, reading, pretty much anything under the sun. I love the sun. The sun is great. And meditation. I just got back from a 10-day meditation retreat in Joshua Tree, California. It was 10 days of noble silence, just straight meditation, no phone, no talking, no looking at anyone. It was tough, but it was a beautiful and transformative experience. And this is where I plug it. It's a Vipassana meditation retreat, so it's completely free to students, and it's all around the United States. So if it tickles your fancy, it's worth checking out, and the facilities are awesome. Went to school at the University of California, Irvine, interned in Barcelona and DC, which is funny because Barcelona is really laid back. Washington, DC is the complete opposite. So that was a fun contrast. In terms of work, my first job was at Snap Inc., helping craft their ad algorithm, and then as a consultant. From there, I entered the entrepreneurship world, started one SaaS platform that helped e-commerce brands replace affiliate codes. That did pretty well. It had over 100 Shopify brands using it. And then from there, honestly, I just my overall goal in life is to spread as much positivity as possible. And to do that, I just follow my genuine intellectual curiosity. And wherever that takes me, it takes me. And the logic behind that is, I think the creator, God, the universe, or whatever you want to call it, I think he gives everyone very specific gifts that just fit their soul. So to best serve others, I think the best thing you could do as a person is to follow your authenticity. And wherever that takes you, that'll take you. Like if you try to force yourself to do a job that doesn't fit your soul, doesn't fit your vibe, you won't do as well versus something that you just really align with. And I think we're most happy when we're serving people. So that took me to two different companies. I'll skim over the first one, which is ShopX. The why behind that is, so ShopX is a Web3 company. The why behind that is I overall would like to live a nice, peaceful life. I felt that was more difficult to do with the money system being corrupt. And that's what led me to originally gold and silver and then to eventually Bitcoin as a solution to that problem. And ShopX is a way for me to onboard people into that ecosystem at scale. So it's a platform on Shopify and WooCommerce for e-commerce brands. So let's say for an e-commerce brand to download an app and interact within the space. So hypothetically, let's say like a Nike or one of our clients is Fox Studios. Nike launches using ShopX products and services. They launch an NFT collection for their customers. Their customers then they want the product attached with NFT. They buy the NFT. That's a lot more effective in onboarding people to crypto and Web3 because it's much faster than me. Like Nike onboarding like 1 million customers versus me onboarding my mom and my dad at Thanksgiving. So that's much more effective. Plus, the incentives align, meaning you can't force anyone to do anything. It has to be beneficial, and they have to want to do it themselves. So in the Nike example, these people would want the product or e-commerce benefit associated with the NFT. They'd purchase NFT because they want the e-commerce benefit, and that's a 0 to 1 moment, meaning they could start to learn. If they want to, they can learn more about the why behind cryptocurrency, if they so choose. And that ties with the second product of ShopX. So the second product is SquadX. That's the first ever blockchain-based ambassador program. And just like Twitter pays its creators in USD from their ad revenue, we pay our ambassadors for helping our ecosystem grow from our ReserveX revenue. The logic behind that is it's better to give than receive. Like honestly, if you try giving something away, like try giving $20 away versus asking for $20, obviously giving $20 just like you just feel much better. And the logic, and I also believe in energies. So I believe both positive energy, you can be on a positive spiral or a negative spiral. I think both positive energy is contagious and negative energy is contagious. So if you're a brand using ShopX ReserveX, you have control over 95% of the funds. ShopX earns our revenue from that extra 5%. And half of our revenue we give to our community for helping our ecosystem grow. So as brands get more and more mints, ShopX makes more and more money. Our community gets paid more and more Ethereum. They're obviously happy. They're posting. There's like, yeah, this is awesome. They're spamming brand pages. And this creates more and more brands, creating more and more mints, thus creating more and more money for them. And just like a nice cycle of positive. Where it's like, yeah, we're making money. We're doing Twitter posts. We're onboarding people into Web3. This is kind of great. So that's the logic behind ShopX. This would lead to my second company, Dating. So I met the co-founder of Dating, Mark, on a cryptocurrency podcast for ShopX. So I also believe everything is related and everything's connected. So it's just an example of that. So like I was on a podcast tour, not so much of this subject, but more just like straight crypto talk. And he hosts the Crypto Economy podcast. So we talked ShopX. We kept in touch via Instagram. And then with the rise of AI, this made it possible for dating to occur. I checked my Twitter one day, and this random ass dating company was following me. Did you play Halo at all, or no?
No, not really, but I'm familiar with the name.
Yeah, the mascot her name is Cupid, and she's based off Cortana, so nerdy Halo character. She's cute, but that's where it comes from. Okay. So this dating company followed me. He's like, okay, we're starting this. I'm like, oh, this is funny. It's a good idea. It helps people. I'm in. And then we just started working on that. So working on that simultaneously. The overall goal of dating is this, because I view human relationships, and I'm guessing based on your podcast, you would agree, relationships with people is, I think, an extremely important part of our society. That's unfortunately getting worse due to like dating apps and social media and all that stuff. So Cupid tries to tip the balance in that. So what separates Cupid from like Tinder and Hinge and all those like dating apps and Instagram is, first off, on those apps, the top 5% of users get access to 95% of participants, creating a skewed marketplace. But more so, the incentives for the companies are misaligned. So hypothetically on Tinder, let's say me and you match on Tinder, we start dating, we have an amazing life. We're like, okay, we're gonna get married. We'll get off this app. We get off the app. In that case, Tinder then loses a paying customer, which unfortunately hurts their bottom line. So what they employ is something called churn marketing. So they want me going on dates. Their ideal state for me is me going on dates, not having a good time, going back on the app, going more dates, just like creating like a cycle of just me coming back. And I'm sure you've had friends on dating apps who just like, we delete the app, I'm re-downloading the app a month later, and then just creates a vicious cycle of just blah. So and another issue is they're all physical based. So it's like, yeah, it's like hot or not. It's like, you get bombarded with 100 matches, like 100 swipes, just like swipe. So what dating does is, if you wanted to create a dating profile, you would link your social media accounts like Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, just all stuff you normally link to a dating site. And what we would do is we would create a profile based on your digital footprint. So like your Instagram posts, if you're like in a bunch of national parks, you go to church, you go to wherever, we create a profile based on that, like your career and all that jazz. And then it would match you with someone with a similar digital footprint as you. So like, let's say hypothetically, me or you are on the app. It shows me my 3 matches for the day. Ashley, Kimberly, Jane, a small little bio on each. Okay, I read the bio. Okay, Jane catches my fancy. And instead of just showing me more matches, because we want people to actually learn more about, like take time to actually learn more about the person. Like Jane catches my fancy. Tell me more about Jane. Oh, Jane also went to a 4-year university. She studied business and psychology. She's close to their family. Oh, her Spotify playlist. Did you know both of you guys listen to one of your top 3 artists is the same Spotify artist and you both listening to it at the same moment? Oh, did you know that artist has a concert coming in a month? Would you like me to facilitate a date with Jane? Then ask Jane. It's like, would you like to go there? Then shows my profile, shows her profile. And then it'll be able to take you from there. So the logic behind that is, I think most people, like not me obviously, but most people in the dating market kind of suck at dating just because of lack of practice. And I think, yeah, based on that reaction, it was like, yeah. So there's nothing we could do about that, but we want to put our users in the position to succeed. So for example, in that position with Jane, let's say the Spotify example didn't come up. That's still in our digital footprint. So that's still something that could come up in the back end. So there's plenty so it helps take care of the back end of dating where it's like you guys meet someone, you already think you have enough, you already have a lot in common. And from there, it's just about finding the spark versus the other way, which is finding the spark versus like hot or not, and then trying to navigate if you're in common or not. So those are the 2 things, long term. And again, like the cool thing about this app is, let's say it's going to match with people similar to you, but I believe everyone's like a beautiful individual. Some people like the opposite. Some people like half and half. Like, people's tastes just completely change. So like it's going to start matching you with like similar people. But let's say you're one of the people like the opposite. You're going to say no, 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 no. But at that point, the machine learning algorithm will get smarter and smarter. So unlike Hinge and Tinder, the longer you're on that, the more likely you'll stay on that. The longer you're on our app, the more likely you'll get a match. So because our goal is to get matches as like we want people going on live dates again, just because I think that's just better overall for everyone. So our goal is to go on matches, and let's say Jane and I kick it off. We eventually fall in love, get married, do whatever, or we can be in a poly relationship. That may not be good for this channel, but again, people are completely different. Like you can find like a poly, you can find whatever you're into. If you're into specific stuff, it's just we want to find happy couples. Let's say me and Jane, I'm more traditional, so we actually do get married. We're blah blah. We have our life, we have our kids. We're both super busy. At that point, you can transform into more of a butler, like a date setting idea, like a matchmaking butler for us, even though we're already married. It'd be like, okay, you guys are super busy. You have 2 kids. You don't have any time to plan a date. But did you know that first concert you went to, that Spotify artist you did? Oh, they're having a reoccurring tour. Maybe it's time for a date night. Or hey, you guys haven't went out in like 3 months. It's time to get off your ass and go out. Let me recommend this babysitting service for you. Or hey, your favorite restaurant, it's having half off on tacos. Get out of the house, type of thing. So then it can help facilitate that and get like, okay, well, what kind of tacos? Can you help me make a reservation? So it can do a bunch of stuff. And on top of that, we're building into VR. So like we want to be, I believe the Apple VR headset, it's obviously super expensive right now, and I don't know anyone who has one. But I think they're following the same path of the iPhone, meaning when the iPhone first came out, it was expensive. Not too many people had them, but eventually they're going to make it more mainstream, more cheaper. And eventually I think a lot of people are going to have them. So we are building out to be the first dating app in VR. So if you want to meet virtually, you can do that, because I think that's becoming more of a thing. I like to meet people in person, but I understand that not everyone's just like, they're like, okay, maybe a FaceTime and a virtual meetup, then an in-person thing. Cool. Yeah.
Wow, man. I mean, there's so much there, man. Well, first, that's awesome. I mean, sounds like you have an awesome, full, fulfilling life here. I mean, even if I just start off with what you were saying about, the meditation trip retreat that you just experienced and whatnot. Like, I felt like that was really cool because, I mean, I've heard of retreats and things like that. I think I've even heard of like silent retreats. Not that I've experienced it or anything, but I mean, I don't know. I guess this is my first time really talking to someone that has experienced it and stuff. So, I mean, I would love to know like what made you go on that trip, and then also like, you know, what did you receive from it and whatnot? If you don't mind sharing, I know there's so much we got to talk about because you just shared.
No,
but if we start there,
it's one of my favorite things to talk about, and it was one of those situations where it's like when the student is ready, the teacher approaches. So it's like my friend recommended a while ago. I ignored it because I'm like, I'm not going to take $10. I can't take 10 days off. I can't just like check out for 10 days. That doesn't make any sense. But eventually I like started hearing like some content started showing up. I saw some positive reviews on it, just like organically. I'm like, okay, YOLO it. Sign up, got accepted. I'm like, I still don't know what it is, but then eventually just showed up. So what it is, it's a very specific method for meditation. So it's called Vipassana, and it's the method that the Buddha used to reach enlightenment. So what you do is so the structure of the center is you go there, men and women are separated. Not that it matters because you're not talking to anyone, but you go there, you have your room, which is a really nice facility. Like it's well taken care of. It's like, it's good. Like the food is good too. But you have your room, you have a meditation hall, you have a walking path. That's all you have for 10 days. You wake up at 4, that's when the first meditation starts. You meditate for a while, get breakfast, meditate again, get lunch, meditate again, then eventually have like an end of the day discourse. So that's the structure of the camp. So the first 3 days, you just focus solely meditating on the area around your nostrils and your mouth. So this triangle. The reason you do that is because you're picking up a skill. So it's probably something you or your listeners have never done before. Like just focus on like this area, like meditate on this area. So it's like a dull thing for you. It's like a new sense. Eventually, after doing it for so long, you start to feel different sensations you never felt before in that area because that's your focus. And then from there, once you can do that, you just take that like area, make it as small as you can, and then scan your whole, like every inch of your body. So what this is doing is it's extracting all the traumas that are stored in different parts of your body. So like, let's say you're like a NASA scientist, you're sending something to space. You need a piece of metal to be 100% pure. What you would do is you'd run that metal through magnets, and the magnets would pull out the impurities in the metal. So that's what you're doing pretty much the whole time, just extracting the impurities. And they come out in different sensations. Like it could be like, for example, if like one of your traumas is like an anger moment, it usually comes out as heat or pain or something. Or it could be like a tickling thing, or it could be like a wet thing, or it can just be like nothing, or it can be like a dark spot. So yeah. And the reason it's 10 days of pure silence is because let's say you meditate for an hour now, I would check my phone again, I would check back in. But if you're not doing anything, you're just in that constant state. So like at that point in time, I was remembering crazy stuff from my childhood. The dreams I would have were absolutely insane. It was a powerful experience. And you close the meditation by gathering all your energy in your head. And this may be a bit woo, but this is a good place to talk about that. So you gather all the energy in your head, and then you just spend a couple of minutes just wishing everyone in the world just like love and happiness, which is beneficial to you as a user, because I think I believe what you put out, you get back. So like I believe the outer world is a reflection of the inner world. So if you go around wishing everyone happiness, everyone wishes happiness in return. If you go around wishing people like, you suck, that's what you get. Sadness too. And to get more scientific on that, it goes into what I also view the world in energy, frequency, and vibration. So each emotion is a different vibrational frequency as a person. So like shame is 50. Shame is the worst thing you can feel. Like anger, hate, all that, like jealousy, that's around 200. Love is around 550. So the higher ones are obviously better. So just like a radio station, if you tune into a specific frequency for the radio station, you pick up a specific radio station. The same applies with your attitude. So if you're a positive person, that's why you always attract positive people, which is why I think we're getting along. But if you're a negative person, the same thing happens. That's why you're just surrounded by negativity. So it's like a reality crafting type of thing. But yeah, so overall, what I got from that is just a practice I do every day. So I wake up at 4:20 because, hey, it's funny. But I meditate. The first thing I do is meditate because my brain's full of melatonin. And then I kind of go through my day. So so once you do it for long enough, you eventually, because misery and cravings and aversions are the source of misery, those are what create the traumas. So if you're filled with that, it's like a tree that creates more. Like think about every time you really wanted something or every time you really avoided something, it probably doesn't feel good or end good. So you're generating negative energy if you're in that state. But once you cleanse your body, then you become a positivity generator. And going back to the first point where positivity and negativity are contagious, if you're a positive generator, like you're a positive person, you talk to someone, hopefully they feel uplifted after talking to you, and hopefully they talk to someone and then they uplift them, and it creates like a nice little upward spiral. But if you're negative, then it has the opposite side effects.
Because I think through your description, it seemed like, were you alone the whole time?
No, so the class itself was around 100 people. But again, no talking, no, like it was a solo experience.
I'm trying to imagine. So all of you all were separate, or everyone was together, but definitely no talking?
So we had so there's like a facility, think of like a college campus, where there'd be the dining hall where you'd have your set seat, but I would just eat outside just because I like outside. And you have your separate room. So like I would have my own room. And then there's one main meditation hall where you had your seat for the 10 days during the meditation times, and you just kind of walk in and sit down, start meditating, and then you could leave, go back to your room, or go to the walking path.
Oh,
it's honestly kind of cool. Like,
very interesting. I mean, yeah, I've definitely never experienced anything like that per se, but I mean, definitely sounds interesting. I mean, I take time every day to, pray and meditate and, get ready for my day and share daily inspiration and stuff like that. But that's the closest thing I think I can relate. But I mean, it does sound pretty cool. So I mean, hey,
yeah, whatever works for everyone.
Yeah. And so then you were saying that you have an NFT business and cryptocurrency and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. So that's the ShopX portion.
Yeah. My husband's into coding and whatnot, so it sounded like along those same wavelengths a little bit, but then not at the same time, because you mentioned like Shopify and people being able to be like affiliates or ambassadors.
Yeah, so we're an app within the Shopify and WooCommerce app store. So if you're trying to if you were trying to start a brand and sell like products online, there are 4 platforms you would use. The big 4 are Shopify, WooCommerce, Salesforce Commerce, and BigCommerce. Let's say you start the store on the Shopify app store. Let's say you select Shopify because it's the easiest. There are a bunch of different apps you could use, like the App Store, and ShopX is an app within that ecosystem. So if you wanted to use like ShopX products and services, like you started Miracle Sims clothing store, you wanted to launch an NFT for your customers that's attached to a specific product, you just download the ShopX app. Within the app, you launch an NFT. Your customer, you at that point earn revenue, which is good for you. And then your customer was like, okay, I want that product. They buy the NFT because they want the product. And then they're able to claim that NFT. And then at that point, you as a brand, you have the option to go, okay, I can keep adding products to that NFT, or I can be one and done. I can add discounts. I could add like in real life events. So it's just a way for a brand to create a connection with their current customer that's lifelong, and no third party can be involved. So the ethos behind Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3 is Web 1 is like read only. So in Web 1, we can go on the internet, we can read stuff. Great. Web 2 is read and write. So just think like Instagram or social media or even this podcast. We could both I can write content, like I could do an Instagram post. You can then read that content, like check it out, like it, interact with it. You do you. But the only issue is Instagram, Facebook, they own the content, meaning they make money off of you and they can cancel you at any point in time. Whereas in Web 3, it's read, write, and own. So in our example, when you created that NFT, I own the NFT. You can't take it from me. Amazon can't take it from me. Instagram can't shut you down and take it from me. That connection is there for life between me and you. So let's say hypothetically your store becomes like massively successful in the future, like it becomes the next Lululemon. Congratulations. But I was one of your original supporters, like, because you always have to look out for the people who supported you when you're early. But yeah, this is proof that these were my original supporters. I'm the next Lululemon. You guys get 50% off all my products for life. Or if you're an artist, like let's say hypothetically an artist launches an NFT collection for his first show. We go to the first show, we're part of his original supporters. He becomes like a headliner at Coachella. He's like, okay, you guys are my OGs. You guys get autographed merch, you get backstage passes, you get all that stuff, and then you just airdrop it because there's a link between me and you.
Wow, it definitely sounds very interesting. I know, again, I only know a little bit of this. I mean, because I was seeing maybe like a year or so ago, I felt like I was seeing NFT art everywhere,
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this and how and what and how? And and you try to look into these things. So I don't know if there's people like me that are like listening to us or watching us right now, and they're like probably all of it's probably over their heads. I feel like you kind of broke it down a little bit more for us to, I guess, try to understand. But obviously, we can go and look on your website and hire you or whatever the case may be to, I guess, hopefully get more understanding in that. Because, like, do you think what you do is very like beginner friendly when it comes to that, or?
We make it. Our goal is to make it as simple as possible and as beginner as possible, as friendly. Because in my opinion, for the NFT Web3 space to be successful, it has to be like they're in it now, where like you would have your NFT, you don't even have to know it's an NFT. You just kind of like tap your phone and it does its thing on the back end. We're just like, oh, nice. I got my pass. I got my product. We're good to go. So what we've done from the brand side, like if you wanted to, like even though with your NFT knowledge, let's say hypothetically you did launch a Shopify store, you would be able to launch a collection within 5 minutes, and I could walk you through that process because we've taken out like you said, your husband codes. So normally if a brand or whatever wanted to create an NFT collection, they'd have to hire a Web3 developer. They develop. Obviously, developers aren't cheap. It could be kind of expensive. They'd have to hire an artist, and they have to do a bunch of stuff. So we've simplified that process into filling out 2 forms. So in the Miracle Sims store, you want to launch a Miracle Sims NFT. All you would need is to fill out 2 forms, like a title for your NFT. I just call them passes because it's easier to digest. But like a title for your pass, an image for your pass, a description of your pass, how many passes you want made, how many times each person can purchase a pass. And then from there, you will get a landing page, just like a URL, where your customers can then purchase the NFT. So we are a Web3 company, and I believe in Web3 ethos. So I'd be able to purchase an Ethereum and all that jazz because it's just what I believe in. But we've also integrated with credit cards. So if your customer's not into Web3, they don't have any Web3, they can just pay with credit card. What's happening on the back end is technically the customer will be purchasing the Ethereum with credit card and paying for the gas transaction fee. And then as that instantly, that's where you would get paid. So when a customer purchases, you automatically get that money. But on the front end, they just say, okay, I buy a credit card, and they don't need to know what's happening on the back end. Yeah, so during a QA, which is basically testing, my grandma was able to do it, and she's old. lovely but old.
I mean, hey, look, that's all good. I hear you speaking at Miracle Sims store, so I mean, I might have to go look into it and see what's going on. And see what I can do. I mean, because honestly, we became quote unquote partners here on YouTube and whatnot, and they were saying that we can add a store, but I was trying to figure out because we had a store on the site, but it doesn't seem to be compatible with YouTube. So I don't know. Is your thing compatible? Because maybe I'll be hitting you up for real.
So in terms of store, we work within. We're just a technology application for a store, but Shopify, honestly, Shopify will be your best bet to make a store. It's super simple. For the first 3 months, it's $1 a month, and then following that, it's like $20 a month. But yeah, no, you can just whip up a store really easily within Shopify. Try it out, see if you like it, add some products. If you make more than $20 a month, keep it. If not, you can just kind of max it. Plus, it's the easiest one to use, I would say.
Shopify, you say?
Okay. Yeah, Shopify.
Look at us getting that inside info, y'all. So okay, cool. I'll be looking into it, but of course, I mean, obviously we have to talk about the bomb you dropped on us when you started talking about this dating or Cupid or combination of both names.
The company is dating. The matchmaker is Cupid AI. So the logic behind that is it's like, people do matchmaking services, and I don't know if you tried it, but it's like ridiculously expensive and just blah. So this is a matchmaking service for everyone. It's like, okay, hopefully it finds you a perfect match, but it can also find you whatever you're looking for.
That does sound really cool. I mean, the whole thing when you were describing it, I was like, man, that sounds amazing. Because again, people, if they watch this platform, they already know I got a heart for single people. Obviously, I went through my whole journey, wrote my book, all this type of stuff, because it was a whole thing for me. Right?
It's a whole thing.
It was a whole thing that ultimately led to this platform and stuff, right? Because but anyway, that's a whole other story that I tell all the time. But so with that being said, I mean, I've had some conversations with people that have started some dating apps and things of that nature, but this dating AI situation is on a whole nother level, because you were mentioning that not only will they I guess set the dates up and things of that nature and give you information and all this type of stuff, but then it's like going with you the rest of your life as well from the description that you gave. So I mean, like, how is it going and how is it working thus far? Like, you know, and how are people receiving it?
Oh, it's going super well. So we're launching live on February 14th. And the reason we were able to do that is because a bunch of people thought it was a really good idea. So they were like, okay, here's some money. So we don't have to actually get users to fundraise, which if you're in the startup world is actually, it's super annoying doing that, where you have to kind of rush products and features to get users to get the money. It's like, okay, the money came first and now we can actually do it right. Right now we're in beta testing. So right now we're in the process of training the AI with like friends and family, like play around with the app, test it out, report bugs and all that stuff. Once the app is live, and it's working extremely well too. But once the app is live February 14th, that's when we just start rolling out to everyone. We want to start location wise just around Los Angeles on the college campus. But after that, you can hit up everyone because the app is so customizable. We can target every single segment. So like, for example, let's say anime people into Catholics, or people super into football. Because the app is so customizable, you can create a custom ad for anyone and just kind of hyper target people based on what they're doing. So for anime people, it's like, okay, Cupid AI, show that, like, and then we can show a product demo. So you should actually check out the product demos live too. It's like, we found you a person who's also into your favorite anime, and then just kind of blast it out to the anime community. Same with the people, like the Christians. Like, we found another Christian match. Here's the proof. They go to church and they tag them at the church with their family. Their friend, like half their friends are also Christian, and just blast out to them. Same with like the people really into football. It's like, oh, you're crazy about football for some reason. Here's someone else who also tags. They go to the same games you do. They have the same jersey, have like type of thing. So we can just target literally anyone, which is gonna be pretty fun. And the app itself is it's sticky too. That's the thing, because it is a matchmaker, but it has the AI talkability thing where it's like, you can ask it questions, like you can ask it AI questions. You can ask it about yourself. Since we are integrating with this, like, since you link your social medias, it can also function as a social media coach type of thing, where it's like you have a demo room. It's like, what do you think of my profile? Do you think this will do well? It's like, well, based on other profiles who get a lot of likes on attention, you may want to do this. So it's going to be, and the thing is, it's just getting started too. Right now it's GPT. So there's GPTs are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Due to cost, we're using Chat GPT 3.5, which is at an IQ of, I'd say, around 155, which is already genius level. But we have the ability to turn on GPT 4 whenever we want, and at that point, it just gets smarter, just gets just more smooth. Like, the conversation flow is just much better at that point. We can always adapt to that. And what I like about this app is, I've always viewed technology as like a neutral. Technology to me is just a neutral thing. It's the people wielding it who are just like, okay, well, it's gonna be bad or good. So I've noticed a bunch of doom and gloom about like AI. It's like, oh, Terminator, oh, it's gonna take our jobs. But this is a positive spin now, where it's like, okay, it's an AI. It can hopefully make dating better for people, because based on what you said, it doesn't sound like you had a whole dating journey. Dating can be tough out there for the single people, and I don't think it's getting any easier. And
that is so true.
And it's going more online too. Like, me personally, I've always liked to, because again, I believe in energy. I think you can pick. I think people can pick up on energy, like even on the podcast, but like even more so live. So I always prefer to get my dates by like the classic cold approach. But most people, like, unfortunately or fortunately, whatever, however you want to word it, like, most people just simply rely on apps which don't have their best interest at heart. So it's a pretty easy transition too. Like, and plus we can just siphon off all of Tinder's user base. Like, go down, like, I'll just scrape Tinder's email, like the Tinder, like people who follow Tinder's Instagram, scrape their emails, or follow like Tinder fails on Reddit and just target them. But like, hey, does Tinder work for you? 99% of the people it doesn't. Well, here's a solution. Just watch this video, and then they could try from there.
I mean, honestly, I think, well, one, this whole AI thing is definitely taking things to a whole nother level. It's an amazing thing. Again, we know, all things can be used for good or evil and things like that, depending on, again, who's behind the situation or who's using it. But again, for those that use it for good, or those that are, like, creating things like what you are describing to us, I think that's an amazing, awesome, thing, especially, again, for the dating world, and for people that really want to find love, and and stuff like that. And I think it's really cute. Y'all gonna launch on, of course, Valentine's Day. That's really cute. I mean, it sounds amazing. It sounds like it's gonna be a hit. Like, I mean, I don't know, but it does sound like it's a really cool thing. And because again, I really like the personal touches and whatnot, and not just being, I guess, like they say, well, like you were mentioning earlier, either just superficial or just swiping the next person and things like that. It's like getting to know that person before, and that's another thing I would say that another app that came or that visited our platform was kind of along the same lines about like playing games for people to be compatible in that way. But like I said, this whole AI thing is on a whole it's on a whole nother level, because
it does it just much more effectively. Like, I'm sure people have tried, like, because even before AI, it's like it's hard to get people to match on a dating app based on personality. Like the games is honestly a pretty good, like, that's not a bad idea. It's like, play these games, get like a horoscope, answer these questions, and we'll match based on that. But that's like 10 questions you could fake. So our app just makes that digital footprint across all of your social media accounts. So it's much more comprehensive. Therefore, it's just going to be better at it.
I mean, well, I can't wait to, hear what happens when it gets out there and takes over the world. I mean, because like I said, it sounds really amazing. And you said it just kind of fell in your lap. It just
it's the right people approach. It's like a right place, right time. Just when the universe knows best, I just gotta follow that. It's like because it's like I was on the crypto tour. We kept in touch like via Instagram, just like each other's stories. He was a good guy, I could tell from the crypto podcast tour. Like, on terms like, what the fuck is this thing following me? Then we got on like call and described like, oh, this is funny. Dating does kind of suck. We can fix that. So we're just kind of rolling with it, and it's picking up some traction in the back. And like everyone who tries it or everyone who uses the demo is like, oh, this is actually pretty cool, because it is pretty cool. It's like, oh shit.
So are you looking forward to matching on there and things like that, or are you already kind of off the market, or what's going on?
I'm dating non-exclusively right now.
Oh, okay, so you can't be on there then.
No, I'm definitely gonna be on there. So what I want to do is, so for me is I just haven't found the right person yet. So in the meantime, it's like, someone reached out, we can go on a fun date. I do love fun dates. I think dating is a fun experience. Most people hate it, but it's like, no, it's like, it's fun meeting people. It's fun going like on dates. My thing is, just always be upfront. Don't ever lie to anyone, and then I think that's fine. So like, I tell the girls I'm dating, I'm not monogamous at the moment, but I am open to it. But I'm really focused on the like my 2 companies right now, so it's like I have too much time for them in the first place. But I'm 100% planning to use the dating app. I think it's gonna work well for me. I want to be a use case for my own app.
Hey, well, look, I guess I hope it works out for you. And everything. Like I said, I mean, I would love to, for you to come back and share with us, how's it going and stuff like that. I mean,
I'm super down.
Sounds amazing. Both companies sound very promising and whatnot. Obviously, it seems to be you're doing well. I'm assuming, right? So
I like to think so.
So that, I mean, that's all.
That actually is all that matters. If you think you're doing well, then you're doing well. You could be
I honestly, my mind has shifted definitely in regards to what is quote unquote success. Like,
what is success? What is success to you?
To me,
let's switch up the interview process.
No, it's
turn around.
Yeah, to me, I mean, so my background's in theater and things like that, and so of course, when you talk to an actor or whatever, you're like, oh, the Oscar and all that is what people deem to be success, right? But for me, I always just focus more so on like performing for a living and things of that nature. And so because that is pretty much the life I live. I mean, no, I may not have the Oscar, and no, my show or whatever may not be like on the syndicated places and all this different type of stuff, but the fact that I get to do this type of thing, or the fact that like, well, it's a performance art business, but at the same time, I guess my little niche right now is like dinner theater and stuff, and I got this thing in the works like next month, actually February. Nice. This is gonna be in the future, so the months ago. I'm on the brink of a partnership with the theater company down here where I'm at and stuff like that. And so I think all of that is a blessing, right? I think all of that is just things that are, well, I understand that everybody doesn't have that,
Correct.
I guess ability to do what they desire or do what they, imagine themselves doing, and so, so to me, I'm successful because I am doing what I dreamed
One.
of maybe years
Yeah.
ago, and so even if it's not at the quote unquote top level of what other people might
Well,
find to be
that doesn't mean anything. Like, why would you compare yourself? When was the last time comparing yourself to someone else ever served you positively anyway? Doesn't.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the comparison game. Yeah, we should
it's
stop doing that.
Yeah, never
But it's
ends.
just so easy to do, especially again with entertainment and stuff like that. It's just because it's all around you,
Yeah,
and it makes
I
you
could see
think,
that.
and it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
woo. But then you see all the stuff in mainstream media and stuff, and like the issues that people at those levels are going through, and it's like,
Yeah.
but I'm at peace, so I'm happy with the way things are in my life right now. So, and I know everybody don't have that, and so I have to just take my blessings as is, and and see what it is that again that I'm supposed to be doing, because again, it's not all about just accolades or something, you know what I mean? It's more about like, okay, is what I'm doing serving purpose? Is what I'm doing helping someone? Is what, again, I wrote my book back when I was single and back when I was like, didn't have any of the things that I have today, like my husband or child, and things like that. And writing it in the hopes that to encourage myself, encourage the next person, and things like that. And not knowing that this platform was going to be on the way, not knowing that any of the things was about to happen, you know what I mean? And so, it's just one of those things. I mean, I believe that it's a divine appointment. I think you said that
Oh,
earlier in
yeah,
regards
100%.
to like people being created for whatever their purposes are. And I feel like I'm walking in my purpose. And
I'm happy for you. You're crushing it. I think the key word you just mentioned is blessing. Like everything is a blessing. Like being alive, being this air, having this hand that actually works. Not everyone has that. So
exactly.
And I think gratitude is one of the best things you can have, because the gratitude is the attitude. Some guy on a previous podcast today said something really funny, which is cringe. But he's like, yeah, every morning I take my vitamin G. I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. But it's sticky. But yeah, no, like, because gratitude I think it's one of the best frequencies you can be in, because you can't be like sad. You can't be anything when you're thankful. So it's just like, why not be thankful? Because everyone has plenty to be thankful for. Yeah. And when I like what you said when you said you wrote the book. It's like your intention was to help people. Whether you had one book or 1 million sales, you created it with the goal of helping people, and that itself is enough. So like, even if you had one sale, help one person, that one person could have helped 1 million people. You just don't know, because once you put it out there, it's out there. So yeah, Thank you for writing that book with the intention of helping people.
Yeah, thank you, man. And it's crazy because every now and then I'll get like little confirmations, and what you saying that reminded me of a friend mentioned to me, or she sent me a text message maybe like a month or so ago. She felt like God led her to buy my book, and she was like, thank you for writing it and being obedient, because it's helped me in my rethink some of my dating practices or whatever the case may be. And that just came out of nowhere. Like that's the thing. And I like what you said earlier about like being able to know the people that are supporting you and stuff, because I would have had no clue that she bought the book, because I published through Amazon, and so they don't give me a notification that, hey, your friend bought your book. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I wouldn't have had a clue if she didn't ever say anything. So that is something I guess I wish I did know, because obviously I like to shout people out and stuff too.
Yeah,
like, oh, this is supporting me, or whatever. But it was good to get those confirmations every now and then. But even if I don't ever get confirmations, I guess I hope that the things I do will still, like, again, be a blessing and things like that. And I guess I'll find out, like they say, by and by.
No, I'm sure it's in some good. Because that's one person who actually, a friend who actually reached out to you. 99% of the time, people just kind of read it, they take it and just kind of leave. But after you left that positive, they just won't say anything. So I was like, and then that carries on, again, creating that upward spiral, which I think the world is going through. I think overall it's getting a better place, despite. So back to the frequency vibration thing, like on that scale, it's a scale through 1 to 1,000. There's certain levels. So after 200, that's when people like above the level of 200, all those emotions, that's when people are giving energy. So if you ever talk to someone and you feel energized after talking to them, like obviously you, then you're just like, okay, they're above that scale. Below 200 is when they are taking energy. So when you talk to someone, you're just like, that was kind of, I wish you the best, but God, that was draining. That's when they're below that. So the frequency is around 200, like it's like fear, anger, all that stuff. That's when people are most impressionable and most easy to like manipulate and get something. So if you're on social media, that's the reason why those levels are being pushed by the powers that be. They want people on a certain level to just, because they want to manipulate them. So once you start looking at that, it's like, why is it showing me all this negative stuff? Why is it showing me this garbage? Oh, it's trying to get me to manipulate me. Oh, it's trying to get me to hate someone, trying to get me anger, it's trying to get me scared. It's like, no, thank you. And to close out the scale, 0 to 1 to 1,000, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and all those cats were around like 700. The only 3 people I know who reached 1,000 were Jesus, Krishna, and the Buddha. So those are the big 3 chads of consciousness in our lifetime.
That's I don't know anything about where did you get these numbers from?
So it's from a book I read, and I've talked to plenty of people in the space. So like this one guy, he was he was some Russian dude. I forget his name. He was in a society I'm part of, but he was some Russian dude, and he's like a full on like physicist and stuff. And then he had like a full on spirit. Like he's like when I'm saying Russian physicist, I'm saying like he's obviously a good guy, but like like the villain movies where it's like the Russian guys go crazy and like do some stuff. Like he was one of those, and then he had like a spiritual awakening for someone, got really into meditation, started doing psychedelics, and they did like a full switch. So a lot of it came from that guy. Where it's like, oh, okay then, funny dude. But you're just like, oh Jesus Christ, because he's a brilliant scientist, but he just went 100% the opposite way.
Wow. So he not say got enlightened, but I mean, I guess there's no other way to say it. I mean,
yeah, he reached his level of enlightenment. That's the way to say it, because there are enlightened people, and once you reach a certain frequency, again, it's like the radio frequency type thing. You start to see more and more of those people, and there are some people doing some cool stuff, helping a lot of people, just spreading positivity. There's some smart ass kids out there too. It's like you're like 10 years, like Jesus, you're 10. How do you even know this? But whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah, I definitely have felt what you were talking about in regards to like, again, being energized when you talk to certain people, and then feeling drained when you're talking to other people and stuff like that. And I don't know what to think. It's like, because I know it's not even go on and on. I can tell you about stuff like, because I've been wondering why certain type of people be around me or something like that. But
it's not the words they say; it's intentionality behind that, which is why I love that you wrote the book with intention to help people. Like it's like a thing in the grass where, like, let's say I'm giving you lip service, like, oh, you're amazing, blah blah blah, but my intention is to get something out of you. You may not realize it on a conscious level, but it's just like people can sniff out authenticity. You're just like So that it's more along the lines of that, where it's like you can pick up someone's core vibration whether you know it or not. So someone's shameful, you just like, that's when someone's like creepy type of thing. Where it's like, something's wrong with you. I don't want to be around you. Whereas if someone's like feeling just like love and happy, it's like, oh, let's just sit here and do nothing type of thing.
Right. Yeah. I was just thinking, I guess us, the Bible believing people would call that discernment, right? It was like, okay, they can, again, like you said, pick up on those type of things.
So, the gifts of the Holy Spirit's the one he's like, because I was Catholic, like I believe in God, like I was Catholic growing up, like I went to Catholic school stuff, but like I still believe in God. It's just like a slightly different, like it's like, I view it as like a source type of thing versus like a person. So the way I view it is, the easiest example is the sun. Like think of it like source. Everything is the sun, not like the physical sun, but like a sun, and everything like this laptop, me, you, all the animals, all the plants, we're all individual rays of light from the sun. So we are individual, but we come from the same source, but we're also the same. So me, like if I were to wish you ill will, or just because I'm pragmatic too, like I want to be successful. I feel like I can help people if I'm successful. It's like, so if it doesn't serve me, I'll let it go. But like if I were to make fun of you or just wish you ill will, it's literally just wishing myself ill will, which is pretty stupid. Just like, why would I do that? It makes no sense. yeah, so like once we die, I think we go back to the source, which is whatever. But who knows? Like, I don't know. Like, it's my belief.
I mean, so basically, you don't believe like that Jesus is God and things of that nature, but that's on a whole nother level. That's getting too deep. It's okay.
No, I could talk about. I believe Jesus is he is one of the fully enlightened people. But I grew up believing. Again, I don't even know. Like at this point, because I think everyone can be enlightened if they want. But I believe Jesus was like I said, and Buddha and Krishna, like the three who got closest to source type of thing.
Well, hey, you never know. You might be on your way. I'm just kidding.
Well, here's the thing. I think we're all on our way. We're just at different levels.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's true. That's true. I think I don't think there's anything wrong with asking questions and diving deeper into, figuring out, what you believe and things of that nature. I think that's part of life. I feel like as somebody again that reads the Bible, what I'm seeing is that He's given us free will to have that choice at the end of the day. And I the more I study, the more I'm like, why did you give us free will?
Yeah.
Like, look what we do with it. Like, we don't even, maybe we should have been like the Sims game and just controlled the whole time. Because, some of us, unfortunately, choose to, use our free will for evil and things of that nature. But
the creator, He knows best. He knows better than me. He knows better than you. He knows better than everyone. So when I look at it, it's like, I just trust His judgment. Whatever is happening to me, it's not happening to me. It's happening for me because I believe the creator, God, whatever you want to call it, He has my best interest at heart. Like, who am I to say no? Like, He knows, like, if it's a hardship, that's just a lesson. And to your point about people doing whatever harm with their free will, I think, and like, again, I always go back to that consciousness scale. It's like, whatever level of consciousness you're at, I think you are trying your best. And to them, unfortunately, they're just at a lower level at this point in their life or lifetimes or whatever you want to see. So they are trying their best. It's just no. But hopefully they snap it up.
Yeah, I mean, man, there's so much what you said just now because I wanted to definitely I guess one, commend you because I feel like there was just so much wisdom that just came from what you just said in regards to because it seems like some people don't get again what you just said. But then when you talked about it made me start thinking about a whole bunch of stuff at one time. So now I don't even know what to say.
It's good that it's good that you read the Bible because honestly, the Bible is, if you actually read it, and I've obviously read the Bible, it's in terms of just like helpful lessons and just like feel goods. There's a reason it's the Bible. Let's just say that. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely something to it. I would say, and I feel like the more that I'm studying, the more I the more it's being revealed. So that's a whole nother thing. But I don't know how much you know about me and what I'm doing on this platform. But one of the things I do is daily inspiration. And like I told you earlier, I pray and I read and study or whatever the case may be. And I joked in the beginning because I'm like, am I really going to have something to say every day? Like, really? But every day since I've been doing this, but I do take a break, and stuff like that. And so I just pretty much do it Monday through Saturday. But still, the fact that some type of wisdom comes every day is just still is blowing my mind because I started April 1st, 2020. And here we are today and it's still going. And I'm like, all right, Lord, well, but it's an amazing thing. And it's been this amazing journey where I'm like, yeah, anybody and everybody, read it for yourself. Like, don't just listen to what I'm saying. Don't just listen to go to the church and listen to the pastor. Like, all that stuff is good, but
read it.
I think it's something different when you're reading it yourself and getting whatever revelations He wants you to have. And studying and all that. So.
I agree with that. Like, I 100% think you should read it yourself. And the way I look at it is, because again, I'm in code. I think of everything as like software, and like I think we're all programmable. So when you're reading, so that's why I think your diet is so important. Like if you eat food, you have effects. Like I eat food A, I feel this way the next day. B, that way. So your diet affects your energy, but the content you consume is also part of your diet. So if you consume crap content, your mindset will be crap. And if you believe that your inner reality is reflecting your outer reality, if you consume crap, then your outer reality becomes crap. But if you consume good content like your Bible, then I just think of them as like spiritual downloads, where it's like if you're reading and like you can get them from anywhere. Like the Bible just happens to be jam-packed with them, and other books, like they're just like, it's like a dense source, but like you can get them like walking by, like, oh, that tree is a beautiful geometrical shape. I've never noticed that. It's like, oh, amazing, God is there. But the Bible itself is like, that's a dense one where it's like, you're just like Bing, 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 bing. And everyone has different interpretations. Like I'm sure when I read the Bible and you read the Bible, it's like, okay, I mean, we both read the same words, but how our different souls resonate with what they said, because we are different. Like we have different lessons. I have different lessons I need to learn. You have different lessons you need to learn. So the information will have a different effect on each of us. So that's why it's very important for you to read your Bible, me to read the Bible. And yes, it is good to go to church. Don't get me wrong. Don't not go to church. But at the end, it's like, it's better to read the Bible yourself and go to church. Why not do both?
Yeah, I mean, because it goes back to what you were saying earlier about relationships, you know what I'm saying? And that fellowship time and all that's important and whatnot as well. And I mean, hey, I know people say all the time, oh, there's no manual to life, but I'm like, well, if you read
there's
the Bible,
there's a good guide. There's a good guide. Have you checked it out?
It talks about like every aspect of life when you really and stuff. So I mean, but
no, like the
either
Bible,
people don't want to take time to read, or people don't. I don't know why people.
They're just like religion. I'm a scientist. I'm so smart. Religion is foo-foo. It's like, well, have fun not living your best life. That's what I say to them. It's like, I'm just like, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. But the thing is, it's funny too, like, because I don't want to brag, but like I've reached like sometimes I've reached just like really successful people who are just like crushing in life. Like I think everyone's equal and I think everyone's crushing, but like in terms of like you were like, like the Oscar thing you mentioned, it's like business accolades, like, oh, multiple exits, oh, blah blah blah, lead of the firm. It's like I have yet to meet a happy, super successful person who didn't believe in a greater power. And I would go so far as if they don't believe in a greater power, I view that as a massive red flag. I'm just like, so you think you did this all yourself? Well, probably not.
Until you get humbled. Like,
yeah. You get humbled. Yeah.
Quick.
That's what I call the balance forces, where it's like it always corrects. You could be, you for sure. You get cocky. You get humbled. Where it's like it will guaranteed happen. No doubt in my mind.
That's why I always be like, look, it ain't even me. Like, I feel like all last year I was calling it Abundance 2023 because I felt like there were just so many things coming my way where it just was blessings, right? And I'm like, hey, it's Abundance 2023, but all I know is I'm just walking, I'm just making choices. But outside of that, I'm just giving glory and honor to God, because at the end of the day, I know that, I mean, I'm doing a little bit, but I didn't do all this, So, I mean, some stuff just came out of nowhere, like, a brand that I have been working on for some years. I kind of just put it to the side, and then the next thing I know, last year, the perfect opportunity for me to launch it just fell in my lap, like how your app did.
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm launching the brand this year.
Let's run with it. And it's not me, it's not you. And again, I'll use the term God just because I just view it as like the creator of the universe type thing, but it was God who placed that up. He's like, oh, they're doing well. I'm sure you had your positive mindset. You get rewarded for doing good, but you get punished for doing bad. So if you're doing good, he'll present you with more rewards. Just don't get cocky. Be thankful. I like to talk to you. Thank your guardian angel. Everyone has a guardian angel. You have to thank them. They like it. Mine likes attention, but just thank them and then be grateful, and that's the frequency you want to live at.
Yes. Look, gratitude. Back to that gratitude. I feel like I can sit here and talk to you all day, and I know you probably got other things to do. Yeah. So, well, feel free to share with us anything else you would like to share. Is there anything we should be looking for other than obviously your amazing app coming out and things like that? But anything else we should be looking for from you, and where we can find you and more information about you and your endeavors.
Sure. So the last piece of advice is I would give is, and you hit on this, I think we're both personally living it. So by example, but just be your authentic self. In terms of authenticity, I'm the #1 Eric Mchugh in the world. If you try to be me, I got you beat. But at the same time, you're the #1 miracle sim. So if I try to be you, can't do that either. So just be you. Use your gifts to help others. I view everyone as a conscious creator. So when you're creating something, the 2 rules I like to follow is I like to keep it simple, Stu, to quote Michael Scott. But when you're creating something, don't take anything away from anyone and don't harm anyone. And usually if you follow those 2 guidelines, like 99.9% of the time, you'll be good. If you want to learn more about Web3 e-commerce, shopx.co, shopx.co. Dating launches February 14th, so it would have already launched by this point, but dating.io. My personal Instagram is Eric D. Mchugh. So if you just want to talk, or I'm here to help, so just reach out about anything. And I'm sure we'll include those in the show notes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, and that's about it. And honestly, I'm Miracle. Thank you. First of all, I didn't even notice the name. It's a beautiful name. But yeah, thank you so much for having me. And I'm just wishing all your listeners the best lives possible for them.
Awesome. Thank you so much for visiting us. Like I said, you're welcome back anytime. I would love to hear the updates and how everything is going with dating and stuff like that. You and your love life, look, I'm gonna be nosy. I'm gonna be like, what's going on?
Yeah. I try to keep that I try to keep that private.
Okay, well, fine. Don't come back and tell us then. Well,
Oh,
you can at least tell us if the app helped.
oh yeah.
Okay.
I'll talk about it, but I'll keep names out of it just out of just.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Other than that,
You gotta keep something near and dear. I get it.
Yeah. And I want to hear your story too, because I came in with zero, so we can do like a Love Life Trade story, app update, something in the future.
Oh,
That'd be fun.
cool. Yeah, I can tell you my little whole story. Unless you want to get the book, I can send it to you too if you think it'll help.
Yeah, I'll read it. I mean, I read
Yeah.
I read pretty much anything. So
Awesome.
cool.
Well, yeah, like I said, you're welcome back anytime.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching the GSL Talk Show, and thank you to Mr. Eric for joining us tonight. I hope that you guys enjoyed this conversation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And thank you so much for checking out Mr. Eric and his endeavors in all of our endeavors. Have a good night.